And so I said to him, "My good man, you had better believe that that man is not in possession of more than one." Oh, hi there. Fancy seeing you here. I was merely just speaking to my bookcase, pretending it was a person, as if I'm not eternally alone. Hi. Now, you're probably moderately confused, because there's a decent chance you were scrolling through your subscription bar and saw a video for a game you've never heard of by a person you don't remember subscribing to. Hi, I'm that person. I'm Kyle. This is Zym Media, and there is a very good chance that you subscribed to this channel because like 9 to 10 months ago, you watched my fake Last of Us Part 2 reviews and got a good chuckle about it and it's like, hey, I'll throw this guy a bone. And then I proceeded to take the 1,000 subscribers I got from that video and the huge amount of views and all of that momentum and basically just stop making YouTube videos for like most of a year. It really paid off, I gotta say, because like by not releasing videos, nobody remembered they were subscribed to me, and so no one unsubscribed. So hi, welcome. If you watched this far, I hope you're enjoying yourself, and I hope you at least remember the videos we watched. But I'm here again to talk about a game. Unlike last time, it's probably a game you've never heard of, and that's a problem. But first, I need to talk about something a little controversial. And I know that's not what we want to hear, but I gotta do it. 2020 really sucked. I know. I said it. I'm brave. You don't need to applaud. But seriously. I mean, what the hell was that? Like, half the planet tried to burn down, a city blew up, everybody hated each other. I mean, that's actually not that unique, but it was actually useful for once because if you got too close to another human being, it basically spelled your doom. But as an eternal optimist, I do find it important to point out that if there was one thing desperately trying to save 2020 from being basically just a complete crap show, it was video games. I mean, we were blessed with a lot of really good games last year. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Persona 5 Royal, Doom Eternal, freaking Tony Hawk remakes if you're liking that, Ori 2, I don't know, like Last of Us Part 2 for the people that don't despise that game's entire existence. We had something for basically everybody, and we were really blessed. And in the middle of that cavalcade of awesomeness, a little game came out. That's a little game that you probably never heard of, but this little game grabbed me by my ankles and forcibly dragged me and all of my focus and attention through one of the best stories I've experienced in any medium for quite some time. The game was funny, it was emotional, it was powerful, and for basically every moment of the 25 hours it took for me to complete it, I was loving it. Basically, though, when I went to talk to anybody about this little game, I knew to expect just blank, confused looks on their faces. Because this little game flew so far under the radar that me, basically a living personification of its target demographic, only heard about it a week before it came out by sheer luck. But despite the fact that I am literally the only person I know that has played this game, it ended up being one of my favorite games of 2020. Vanillaware's 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is easily one of 2020's greatest masterpieces. and you are doing yourself a disservice by not playing it. Also, minor spoilers for the first 2 or so hours of the game. Nothing you don't learn in the prologue, I promise. If you don't want any spoilers and you want a PS4, this game comes with my highest of recommendations, as you'd likely expect. Do with that what you will. The year is 1985. A group of students in Japan are living their lives the only way they know how. Some hang out with friends watching movies and playing video games. Some obsess over cute boys. Some are just desperate to figure out their place in the world. But something is bubbling under the surface. Something that is sure to disrupt their idyllic, peaceful lives. Strange dreams of a burning city. A friend going missing. Mysterious men in black searching for something. And a warning that devastation is coming to the world, and there's only one way to prevent it. So these 13 students, some friends and some strangers, band together to try and desperately prevent the apocalypse in the most Japanese way possible. Giant robots. Let's get this out of the way right from the top. There are a couple of things that may turn you off from this game. This game is very heavily anime inspired, both in its gorgeous presentation you're being treated to now, and in its storytelling tropes. If you do not like that, you will probably have some serious issues with 13 Sentinels. The game is also very story-based. This is far from a visual novel or walking simulator-like experience. There's action and combat throughout the game, but the majority of your time playing is centered around the narrative. If you're looking for something faster paced and action-packed, this is probably not going to appeal to you. And if you don't like science fiction, well, just keep walking. This is sci-fi as hell. With that done, let's talk about what 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim actually is. The game is split into 2 distinct halves. One half is the adventure game section, where you select from the 13 protagonists and play through each of their lives as they encounter something that disrupts their status quo and sets them on a collision course with the horrible future in front of them. Each of the 13 stories does tell a part of the narrative from a different perspective, like you would expect, but the game does more than just that. Each of the 13 stories focuses on something very different, making each tale told within feel very distinct from the others. One character is trying to protect a small robot in a scenario that feels very much like a fun homage to E.T. One character is a fish out of water, desperately grappling with feelings that he doesn't understand. One character is trying to figure out why a famous pop idol on TV is talking to him, asking for his help. Each of these individual stories feels very unique, but each also contributes an array of clues to deciphering what exactly is going on. Because the plot of 13 Sentinels is very much, at its core, a mystery, where you and its heroes desperately try and discover exactly what is going on in time to change the world's fate. And getting to the bottom of that mystery is a wild ride. Each one of the characters' tales has at least one, but likely several, moments where your entire understanding of the events unfolding completely shifts and rearranges. Offhand comments from hours ago suddenly take on a new meaning. A person's identity becomes clear. Motivations of various other characters are revealed to be much more complex than you could imagine. Each one of these revelations would be the major plot twist of an average story, but here, they're just another piece of the puzzle that you're constantly putting together in your head, trying to unwind the narrative as best you can as the game leans back and allows you to do so. It doesn't make it easy, though. The game is told non-linearly, both within each story and between them, and so it expects you to be paying attention. By the end, the game has no problem laying all of its cards out on the table in case you had difficulties piecing together some of the more out there secrets it was teasing you with. But along the way, the game is both confident enough in its story and its players to let you discover things at your own pace, making each revelation feel like an accomplishment. But none of the story would matter if you didn't care about the characters involved. And there too, this game knocks it out of the park. Each one of the 13 protagonists, along with all of the major supporting cast, are far more complex than they appear to be. While they may, on the surface, just appear to be tropes that you can easily label, the game is determined to provide you with enough depth to either completely shatter your expectations or even just allow you to view them in a new light. There were multiple protagonists who I put off playing as long as possible because I didn't think I'd be interested in their stories, only to find that those characters and scenarios were some of my absolute favorite the game had to offer. By the end of the game, I cared deeply about all 13 of the heroes and wanted to roll credits not only to finally solve the mystery, but also to see if I could give these kids a happy ending. The thing getting in the way of that happy ending, of course, is the other half of the game: the combat. In Destruction, as it's called, you select a team of 6 of your characters who all hop into giant robots called Sentinels and battle huge swarms of enemies. The combat portion takes up about a fourth to a third of the total playtime of the game, and unfortunately it is definitely the weaker of the two sections. The simplistic presentation and unusual battle system take a bit of getting used to, and for most of the game, it's not particularly challenging enough to demand much from the player. As you play through the battles, though, the game does surely and steadily begin to ratchet up the difficulty and demand far more from you, and that's when the battles really start to shine. Each of the 13 students pilots one of 4 different types of mechs: the close-range tanky ones, the well-rounded ones, the long-distance support ones, and the flying ones. Each of these are useful in their own particular ways, and knowing which team to bring to each battle ends up playing a major factor on how you'll be able to deal with the challenges put before you. The gameplay is an unusual hybrid between real-time and turn-based battles, as you wait for your character's action gauges to fill up before you're able to unleash another attack with them. Each battle tasks you with defending a certain point from the horde of giant robot monsters, and so it also ends up resembling a tower defense game, with you positioning your 6 characters in the best way to confront the overall threat. Some attacks you can use are strong against certain enemy types, and other attacks can hit huge areas but have long cooldowns before you're able to act again. Balancing the strategy of your next big attack against the enemy in front of you and making sure you'll be able to handle the next threat in line behind them is always a dance you'll be figuring out, and it definitely helps keep the moment-to-moment gameplay engaging. As you play, you'll be able to strengthen these characters, either through purchasing and powering up the weapons that the mechs use, or by upgrading the stats directly. In addition, the more you use a certain character, the more they'll level up. Every 5 levels, the students gain an ability unique to them that helps differentiate them further and adds another layer of strategy to how you approach each conflict. One character might be a flirt, who gets stronger with every female party member deployed along with him. Another character might be a loner, and they get a large boost of strength if none of their partners are nearby. Between slightly different weapon loadouts and the character abilities, each one of the 13 heroes feels unique enough to warrant serious consideration on who to deploy. Each map also has a series of bonus challenges that may ask you to deploy certain characters or perform certain actions. Combined with trying to earn the best rating on each battle, there's plenty to keep you striving for as you play. And while I do think that the combat is generally the weaker half of the game, I can't properly explain how well the final few missions convey the desperation and overwhelming odds the characters are trying to overcome as you were fighting off hundreds, if not thousands of enemies at a time. It became clear to me in those moments why every system, every stylistic choice, every idea behind the battle system was made, all to perfectly align you with your characters as you do everything in your power to triumph against what feels like an impossible task. The final few battles had my knuckles white as I gripped my controller, desperate to figure out how to quickly and efficiently overcome each obstacle in front of me because I knew that in a few seconds there'd be another one to tackle. I did end up loving Aegis Rim's battles. Though, yes, it did take a bit of time before they really started coming alive. Listen, I'm having a hard time properly explaining just how special this game is to me without diving into spoilers, but I felt compelled to really try and inspire you guys to pick it up if you have even the smallest interest in what you've heard here. This game was marketed horribly here in the West by Atlus. I only heard about it when I saw it on the PlayStation Store the week before it came out with an option to pre-order it. Look, I know that this little video on this little channel won't make a ton of waves, but if a few people hear about this and do something about it, I'll feel even a little bit better. The team at Vanillaware poured their heart and soul into this game, and it really shows. The characters are lovable, the combat is thrilling, and the story on display is truly a journey worth experiencing and discussing. The non-linear nature of the storytelling may be a bit jarring at first, but when the pieces start slotting into place and everything starts really firing on all cylinders, there are few games that can compete with the wonder this game's story filled me with. It may end up getting pretty out there and crazy, but it takes its player on a journey that feels so grand and complete that I couldn't help but immediately wish I could wipe it from my brain just so I could go through it all again for the first time. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is undoubtedly in my mind a masterpiece. Just make sure not to miss it. I promise you, you will not regret it. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. You made it through the video. Awesome, way to go. I'm very proud of you. Actually, really, I'm just thankful. Thank you for watching. You know, if you got this far, I'm assuming you enjoyed it. So I am contractually obligated to remind you that there are a list of things you could do to help support this video and this channel. You do not need to do those things. It doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter. Like, I'd rather you just enjoy the video and not worry about stuff. I'm almost done drinking, feeling, you know, real good about myself. But yeah, there's something I wanted to say. I'm not going to edit this, so, you know, you're just going to do my rambling. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention, so, I mean, if you enjoyed this, obviously, this channel hasn't been active for a while, not really, but we have a lot of videos in our backlog, some of which I'm very proud of. Others of which were just us, like, playing video games and talking over them and stuff. But there are some videos in here I'm really proud of, you know. There's, like, my troubleshooter review in progress. I never finished that review, to be fair. So I guess it's just a review. It's not really a review in progress. But I guess it's not even really a review. What the hell is that? It's the only video, it seems, on YouTube talking about that game, but I like it. Other than that, you know, we wrote horror short stories that were narrated on this channel. We were just throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. Not much did, except for those fucking Last of Us videos. And the troubleshooter video, actually. That does pretty well. But, other than that, you know, I have a video in the pipeline. It's going to be much bigger and much longer and much crazier than this. And I know I'm already plenty crazy, but we'll see what happens when I'm 2 hours into a shoot and losing my goddamn mind trying to explain something that makes no sense and is completely indecipherable without a whole bunch of context that I will do my best to give you in as short a period of time as possible. About a video game you've never heard of. Probably. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll hopefully see you around. Or releasing this video reminded a bunch of people that they're subscribed to a channel they don't care about, and I'm about to lose a bunch of subscribers. Frankly, who gives a shit? They were going to watch anyway. It's just a number. I don't care about numbers. I don't care about having 4 digits next to our little thing, under our thing. I don't even know where it is. I'm just going to stop. Here's the thing. I'm not even drunk. This is fucking cran grape. This is cran grape juice. I wasn't going to waste wine on a shoot. I'm just naturally... It is like 3:30 in the morning. I was planning on recording this tomorrow, but I just didn't. Because I'm like, I'm awake now. Might as well just do it, right? Finish tightening up the script, record everything. I'll edit it tomorrow. I'm going to bed. I should go to bed. I'm just rambling. Why are you still watching?